friend.
Thanks. Cool costume.
Thanks. My mom made it for me.
Yeah, that's Superman. I don't need to give an explanation on who Superman is, as everyone watching this video knows Superman just as well as they would know Batman or Spider-Man. Why are you talking about Man of Steel when the movie is 9 years old? Well, I recently watched the premiere of Superman and Lois Season 3, which in my opinion has the best live action version of Superman and one of the best versions of Superman I've seen since All-Star Superman. Yeah, that's right. This small budget TV show has a better Superman than the entire DCEU, and I will fight people on that. Don't get me wrong in any way, shape or form, I have nothing against Henry Cavill. I know he's a great actor and tried to portray Superman to the best of his ability, but he wasn't the problem. The problem was Zack Snyder. Okay, look, I know how many Snyder stans that are out there, and some of them are warranted. If I was in a similar situation, I would want my universe to be finished and concluded. However, just because I say that, it does not mean I liked any of the Snyderverse films. Yes, the Justice League Snyder Cut was a good movie, a fucking long one at that, and Wonder Woman is one of the greatest superhero movies I've ever seen in my life. But even as I say that, there were so many things wrong with both of those movies, and they all originate from one movie, Man of Steel. This movie was supposed to be the origin of the Snyderverse. So tell me, if we compare Iron Man 1 and Man of Steel, why does Iron Man 1 clear Man of Steel in almost every category? Like, it's honestly just night and day on how different Iron Man and Man of Steel are. And that's because the director of Iron Man 1, Jon Favreau, knows the character of Iron Man and Tony Stark, and actually managed to improve upon him in almost every aspect. Whereas Man of Steel wasn't an attempt at improving Superman, or it wasn't even an attempt at adapting a famous storyline, or altering a few things. Man of Steel from the ground up was a complete rewrite of Superman, not only as a character, but as a symbol, taking its ideologies and views into account and restructuring them for the modern world. And that is where it failed. In not having faith that Superman was already a recognizable and jaded enough character who doesn't need rewrites. Which leads me to believe that Zack Snyder himself can't write Clark Kent, and especially not Superman. Superman has been rewritten 1,000 times in the past. In fact, the Richard Donner Superman movies showcase it happening incredibly well. But while the Richard Donner movies change only subtle things about his character in order to make him fit for modern audiences, little small things that are going to become symbolic parts of his character, like, for example, Clark Kent being incredibly timid. Don't get me wrong, Clark has always been timid from the start of the comics, but in these movies, Christopher Reeve manages to accentuate the timidity that Clark possesses to make a near perfect contrast to the confident and strong Superman. Something as simple as him slouching as Clark and standing up straight as Superman. With that contrast now being a vital part of Superman's character as a whole, that's how you change a character. How did Zack Snyder do it? Well, he had Superman watch his dad die in a tornado trying to save a dog, become a hero who acted more like Dr. Manhattan, and act as some boring godlike being who only became a superhero because of destiny. Look, what makes Superman stand out was that he became a superhero simply because he couldn't stand by how much people get hurt. It seems simple when you think about it, but that's what makes him the best of all of us. He was gifted with all of this incredible godlike power, but he just wants to be a human. He was born an alien, but he's inherently a human who wanted to help people because of his adoptive parents' teachings. Not to mention, he also had him destroy half a city while fighting General Zod, and even went as far as to have him kill Zod. Look, say what you want about the spectacle this fight generated. That isn't Superman. Superman would have taken him out of the city, or saved the people in the way. He wouldn't have put them in harm's way. And fucking hell would he have not killed someone. He is Superman. He's a symbol of hope and peace. He's a symbol of freedom that not just every American can admire, but every human can admire and aspire to be like. Because he is the best of us. He is what humans should aim to achieve. No human aims to be a murderer. No human aims to have grief to tell in our actions. That's what Superman is. And I felt like this movie didn't give me that. There is a reason this movie is called Man of Steel and not Superman. That's because when you fundamentally change a character from a point where they refuse to kill unless it means the death of everyone he loves, to him being okay of killing Zod if it means saving a family. That's not the same character. If I was to take Batman and his no killing rule and change it to where he was only allowed to kill if innocent lives were being threatened, then that isn't Batman. That's bloody Marvel's Punisher with extra steps. Because Batman realizes that nobody, not just humans, but gods too, have the right to be the judge, jury, and executioner. It's because Superman believes in undiluted, unwavering, unyielding heroism. What makes him so iconic is not the fact that he wears the most recognizable color scheme in all of fiction, or that he can jump buildings in a single bound, or that he can run faster than a locomotive. But it's because no matter what he comes up against, no matter who he comes up against, there will always be an attempt at redemption. Because that's who he is. A hero who shouldn't be allowed to kill. In fact, it's fucking stupid for him to kill, as it ruins his whole character. It dilutes that heroism that he preaches into something toxic, something more akin to Marvel's Hyperion, rather than Superman. In Superman vs. the Elite, which is an adaptation of Action Comics issue 775, titled What's So Funny About Truth, Justice, and the American Way, there isn't a physical conflict that we care about. We know at the end of the day, Superman will easily win the physical battle, but it's a mental battle. It's a battle of morals and of ideologies. The Elite believe that killing should be allowed, and that they're doing the right thing by killing criminals who cause too much mayhem, whereas Superman disagrees with it. The group and him end up getting into a fight, and Superman fakes being killed by the group, and then, using his super speed, he fakes killing off each individual member of the Elite, one at a time, to show the world what would happen if the world that the Elite had imagined was a reality. After he's defeated the entire team, he and Manchester Black, the leader of the Elite, have a one-on-one. Once again, not in a physical battle, but a mental and ideological one. Finally, stating that violence is never a positive thing, and that if Superman will never stop fighting until his dream of a world where dignity, honour, and justice are the reality that everyone shares. Does Man of Steel echo any of these ideals? No, it doesn't. All it does is put a big blue on screen the worst way possible. Because now, if the Snyderverse went on for 10 or 15 or even 20 years, and we got an adaptation of the famous Superman vs. the Elite storyline, and Superman attempted to give Manchester Black that same speech he did in the comics, all I would do is hang my head in shame, knowing that all of those so-called morals were lies. Lost the second he snapped Zod's neck. And I've heard this argument from my friends, from my family, and many other people when I tell them that Man of Steel is a bad Superman movie because Superman kills Zod. They just say, oh, what was he supposed to do? He had no other choice. Superman showed us that he had enough strength to cleanly snap Zod's neck so hard that shockwaves echoed across the entire station. So why didn't he just fly him into outer space? Or use the momentum he had while grabbing Zod's neck to flip him over or something? But if you want to disregard both of those options, then why didn't you use his hands to block Zod's heat vision? You have Kryptonian skin. Use your hands to block the blast and throw him into a wall or something. While I know there are different continuities, I'm still going to use these as examples. If Omni-Man can tank a beam from the satellite that practically leveled the area it fired it into with low to minimal difficulty, or if Clark from Superman and Lois could use his own heat vision to only make a mark on his own hands, you're telling me that a rage-buffed Superman, who is probably high off his knocker on adrenaline, can't put his hands in front of Zod's face to block the blast? I don't think so. What hurts me the most was that, for a lot of people, this was their first exposure to Superman, their first impression of the character. And in that first betrayal, they watched someone who is nicknamed the Big Blue Boy Scout snap someone's neck. And in the second betrayal, he went to court for his actions. That isn't Superman. Superman is the type of guy who'd be minding his own business and hear a kid and his mother getting abused by their father and jump in to save him out of his own free will. Superman isn't a murderer, and he definitely shouldn't be portrayed as one. Is Man of Steel a bad superhero film? By all means, no. The fight scene between Superman and Zod, aside from the shitty ending, it's pretty fucking iconic. And I find myself rewatching it constantly, asking the question, how the hell did Lois get from this shot all the way to the subway halfway across the city in like 20 seconds? Brother, are you the flat? Look, what I'm trying to say is that while it's a good movie in general, is it a good Superman film? No, it's not. And I will stand by that, because I love Superman. I love the character in almost all of his iterations, and I will for the rest of my life. So no, Man of Steel isn't a good Superman film, and I didn't love it. If you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate you. I wanted to get my love out for Superman as much as possible, because I've seen that if given the right material, Superman can be done incredibly well on the big screen. But for the last decade, he's been absent, and the last time we saw him, he killed someone. Superman is needed right now, more than ever, and I hope in the future, when Superman Legacy comes out, he'll be the Superman I'm looking for. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later. Bye now.